Hi everyone, it's Tammy at Frou-frou Studio. I hope everyone is having a great day. Today I'm going to work a little bit in my third project for the month of September. And this one is multi mixed media kind of journal. It's grungy, of course. I've got two frilly ones going, so in order to balance all that out, I have to do something grungy. So I took the cover that I got from my last little mini book haul, and I have uh, rebuilt the spine, and I saved this piece and put it back on, and I just made a chipboard spine, and I put some of my little grungy canvas on there, and then glued this piece back on there. And yeah, it's good and sturdy now, and I can work in it. I've got two signatures in here. I did do them Midori style because I am doing mixed media. So if I need to, I can actually take the page out and work on it and then put it back in. I have not sewn the signatures together yet. So I'm using two main digitals in this one. The first one is a Raven digital, and it is by Fable Journals, and it has journal pages that all have ravens and books and torn papers and things like that. It's kind of a dark academia feel to it. And then I've incorporated some of the original book pages from the book, which are Italian, because remember the book is called A Guide to Florence. So I've put some of those in there. And then I've put some grungy coffee dyed papers and some tea dyed papers. And then the other digital I'm using, I will show you on a page that I've already done, are SweetPeaCuriosities, and these are called mixed media pictures or mixed media photos. And so it's pictures of these children that are I originally used. Sorry, I'm having problems trying to get out what I'm thinking. The words won't come out of my mouth today. I'm trying to find one that I have not used yet. So, but they look like this, and I had originally purchased this kit for I did a book called A Miner's Town, and I had originally purchased this digital to use in that kit, or that journal, which I loved. So I'm going to use these again along with the ravens to do this journal. And as you can see, I'm using several different techniques. I've used texture paste here. I've done some splattering. Actually, this is a stencil with some oxides. I've got little threads and all kinds of little layers and vintage vintage book pages and just all kinds of little stuff. And I'm making, for this one, mainly collages. There will be some pockets, very few though, I think. I think this one's going to be more about the art than anything else. I do have another one that I have finished. Where is it? That I'll show you, that's kind of a different look. If I can find it. That's the one we're doing today, right here. So here's a different one. So, and you can see, again, I used texture paste through a stencil. So that's kind of what we're working on in this one. And I have another page laid out. So I thought we would do this one together. And, yeah. That's what we're going to do. I thought I was working on it, and I thought, well, I'll turn on the camera and we'll just see what happens. So, like I said, I want to do layers, and you can see all these ravens are really cool. And I love ravens, and I know you may think that's a weird combination, children and ravens, but in a lot of lore and beliefs, ravens are thought to be symbols of wisdom and creativity and transformation. So, yeah, it kind of fits in my mind. There are a few different societies that think they represent evil. In particular, some of the indigenous tribes think they're evil. But for the most part, they're known as good things, not bad things. So, but I think they're very majestic. We don't have them here, but I did have an opportunity to see them when I went to Alaska. They're quite abundant there, and they, I have to say, are quite let's just say they are much bigger than I expected, and beautiful colors. They range from I mean, they're black. You're gonna say ravens are black. They are, but their feathers have also a lot of purpley and blue color in them. And so yeah, they're quite beautiful. And especially in Alaska, and I'm sure in other areas as well, they're represented a lot on their totem poles. And a lot of the tribes believe that they're a connection between, you know, the higher ups and the people here on Earth. So, yeah, very interesting. So, what I'm doing is I'm just taking little bits and pieces that I have in my little junk box, and just to make this more 3D so that it looks like something more than just a digital, which will be my plan throughout this journal. This is a piece of an old copy of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And then this is a Tim Holtz piece, and I'm using just half of it. And I want that to be kind of, want the raven to be behind that. And then down at the bottom, I've got several pieces of different, just little scrap pieces, that's all. The sticker that is on this little old book page is from the Tim Holtz Halloween sticker book. Let's see, it is this one. I was trying to see if it was the first one or the second one, because I do have both of them still. This is the one that came out in 2020. My other one came out in 2022, so it's the first one. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years since that sticker book came out. Okay, so homemade paper, little piece of brown, like packing paper. This is part of a book spine. All just to create texture and like I said, a little 3D action going on. Layers, all those things we like. So I'm gonna put those on there. So we want this on there. And then we want a little brown paper on there. And then our book spine. I think I'm going to use art glitter for that because it is thicker. And then we have our sticker. And then I have this button that I think is really cool, and I'm going to put it right there. And then we're going to work on the other side. I'm going to put that on my fabric tack. Do I want it there or do I want it there? No, I think I want it here. And I just have some thread through there, knotted. I don't know how it got 3 strings through there, but we'll see if we can pull one of those out. There we go. That's more what I'm looking for right there. Come on, glue. Let's do it like that. And I don't have a clamp that'll reach that far, so we're just going to be real careful with it till it dries. Actually, this pink one might. Nope. Yeah, I don't have anything with the thing long enough. Alright, so now we're going to work on this side. So on this side is where we're going to put our photograph. And I've picked this one, which is from a different kit than the other one. This one is called Vintage Photos, I think. Something like that. Also from Luise at SweetPeaCuriosities. And for this one, I have this little piece of kind of like netting. And I want to put it up here. And then I have another piece of the homemade paper that I'm going to put in there. And I have this little piece of coffee dyed paper to tie in that color. And then I have this piece of digital from where I tore these sheets down to fit in this smaller book. And it has some stitching. So what I want to do is, first I'm going to tear this edge off so it's not straight. And I want to put this up under here like this. So that that stitching shows. I think I want to put coffee dyed up here, kind of in between that, and move this down a little bit. Kind of like that. Yeah. And then I want to take this and lay that on the side of her face that has the different color. Do you see how this kind of is a sepia and this is black and white? I want to put this right down the center so that it's separated where the picture's separated. So that will go like that. And then I have this camera, which is also from SweetPeaCuriosities kit. And it is something Grandma's attic, or has something to do with attic. The kit does. So, and I had this left over that I didn't use when I did my project using that kit. And then I have this quote that says, art is when your heart hear knocking from your soul and you answer. And I like that. So I'm going to grunge that up a little bit. But what I want to do first is I have some wax thread here on a needle. And I want to kind of mimic this faux stitching right here. And I want to bring it down through at least there. So I'm going to pause you while I do that so you don't have to sit and watch me sew through some fabric or some paper. I may do it over here too. See how there's stitching right there, but on this side I may go up. So I'm going to pause it and do that. And then I don't like where I have that setting because you can't see any of the, I may bring it more over this way so you can see the Italian book page underneath. But something to that effect. But first I want to get the stitching done. So I'm going to put you on pause and I will be back when I have that done. Okay, so I'm back, and this is what I did. I just added some messy stitching down this way and a couple up this way. So now what we're going to do is glue this whole thing down, and I think I want to put it about right there. Let me check my little frame here and make sure. Yep. All right, so we're gonna use art glitter glue. Actually, I probably should use Fabri-Tac on this, but we're gonna try this first just because it sets quickly. I want to leave enough room over here for my quote. All right, so we got that down. And now I want my quote to go right down through here. And I'm going to ink that up. And put glue on that. Put that there. And then we're going to put our frame on here. Be sure that we get the stitching in there and also the eyeball. And don't cover our quote. And what do I want to use on this? I think I'm going to do some double-sided tape. So I have just this little score tape, which is really thin, and it's really good for these little film strips. And these film strips are by 49 in Market. If you can still get them. I think I read something about 49 in Market. Not being around anymore. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody else did pick up their designers, and I can't remember who it is. Oops. On there. Probably should have moved that over some more so that I hope it's not going to be sticky through those holes. We'll find out in a minute, won't we? If it is, I may have to put something on there to make it not sticky. I've got one of those little powder bags that I use for my pastels to keep them from smearing. I might have to kind of pat it with that and keep it from being too sticky if that's the case. Alright, so we're going to stick that on there. No, you can't, it's not actual holes. So that will work fine. And then I have this camera, like I said, and I'm going to put it right here. And again, this is from SweetPeaCuriosities, and it's her attic. Kit. And put it right down here. Now, to blend the book and the picture and all this together, I want to take this crackle stamp and I'm going to put vintage photo on it, I think. I would do an even lighter brown if I had it, but I don't think that I have one that's any lighter. This might be. This is called Pebble Beach. Let me see how light this is. I think that's actually going to be darker. Let me try it on the vintage photo now. Let's see. I would use antique linen, but I don't think it would show up at all. Yeah, I think vintage photo is the color that I want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. Let me move that over. I'm going to stamp like partway on the picture and then try to get the book page as well. It's almost too light too. It's better, but it's still not. Let me try it here up at the top. This may not be dark enough. I may have to go a little darker. Let's see, it shows up pretty good there. And I'm going to go over just a little bit further on the photo. That's better. And then I'm going to put a little bit down here. And maybe here. Yeah, that's good. I don't know how much you can see that, but you can see it in real life. Now I want to put a stamp or something right there in that little white spot. So let me first pick up my needle before it disappears, and I don't know where it is. Okay. Alright. And I want to put a piece of tape. Just a little piece. I don't want a big one. If I can get it off of here. There we go. I might want to put a piece right here too. Let's do a darker on there. Okay. Alright, so let's find a stamp or not a postage stamp, number or something to put right there. That says catalog. Let's do that one and see what that looks like. I'm going to do it in black. Archival. And I don't care if the whole word gets on there or not. I just want that to not be blank. And then I feel like there needs to be something up there. Let's see. Maybe that's where we need to do some numbers. Let's see. Not long enough. Let's do that one. Good, good. Now, do we need another label or something right there? What do you think? Or another piece of scrap paper. What do we want to do? I don't really want to do book page because I've already got book page there. Maybe we'll just leave it. Okay. I think that's got that page. Yeah, I like it. I like the colors a lot. That's this kind of rusty color in black and neutrals. I really like the way that goes together. So, we have another one down. I have another one that is kind of started, but I don't have the whole idea in my head yet, so we won't do that one today. So let me know what you think about my grungy little journal. Yeah, like I said, with the 2 frillies that I have already going on, I had to get my grunge fix. So this is what I have decided to do. Now, this grungy fabric is by Luise Heinzl. If you're interested in that, it's really cool paper as well. So yeah, the ravens, like I said, are really cool. There's lots of these orangey rusty colors in here. You can also, you can see when I did this other one, I picked up the blues that were in the raven. You can see the purpley blues here, and that's why I went the blues here. I think that works really well. And then this is the one I'm working on that I don't have quite laid out yet. But yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys back in the next video. Bye.